Let's go. Everything new, everything new. Everything new, everything new.
All right, let's do it.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Reset Tour. I got someone special, someone that I know personally. We've been knowing each other for about 4 or 5 years. Over the years, he's become one of the coolest cats I know, actually. He's never changed. He's always been the same person. I could say so many things about him. He's definitely showed support and loyalty, which is I'm big on. Y'all make some noise, some digital noise for my guy, Lemoi Desina.
Yes, sir.
Gotta get that name right.
Gotta get that name. He had a Desina.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people butcher that though, but nah, thank you for the intro, man.
So what's going on, man? How you been?
Man, all is well, brother. All is well. Just been busy with life, you know, planning for the next thing.
Yeah.
We here to make plans. What they say, plan and work to plan.
Yeah.
So it's been one thing after the next. It's trying to get from one phase of accomplishments, get that out the way. One day to celebrate, which is a rule that I have, which is bad, some people say.
Really?
But it gets me back on track right after. And
So you're not supposed to celebrate?
Well, they say I need more time. But they say I need more time to celebrate.
Okay.
You know, when you celebrate your wins, some people take 2 or 3 days, a whole week, depending on the capacity, right? But for me, I'm like, just give me one day and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm back at it.
These are clearly not men telling you that.
That's true too.
Women
That's true
take
too.
time.
That's true too.
Our route is different.
Yeah.
So, two things I've seen is consistent growth.
Yeah.
And a very strong work ethic. You put yourself in positions to be successful.
Yeah.
And kudos on that. Where did that come from?
Man, ownership, bro. You know, I came from a background, and a lot of people don't know this about me. Well, a lot of people don't know a lot that we're going to discuss today.
Sure.
So they're going to get to know me and why I move the way that I move. And today, my father and my mom were big time drug dealers when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah, my father was a drug lord. So we grew up around seeing the big black plastic bags of cocaine and money and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
We saw that growing up. We saw people coming in and out. My father did a long bid. He was, my background is Haitian.
Sure.
So back in the 90s, for those that are aware of the drug game and how that worked back in the day, in the 90s, if you wasn't from here and you get caught, they would deport you back to where you're from.
Right.
But what people didn't know was that you can buy somebody's visa and come back on somebody else's name.
Really?
Yes. And that was the big thing. They cut all that out now.
Yeah.
So they caught on the government. It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But in the 90s, you were able to do that. If you were caught from somewhere else and then they deport you, you come back. So my father did that many times over. But his last bid, he did 17 years, his last bid.
Wow.
And they shipped him off to Ohio. He did some time in Miami. Then they shipped him off to Ohio. And then he did finish his bid over there. So ever since he was released, we didn't really have that kind of connection because he was always gone. So, but my mom kind of picked up the mantle while we were still young, and she started serving, out of the house that we were raised in.
Okay.
And we ended up getting robbed while my mom was in control, serving and everything. We ended up getting robbed, pistol whipped in the whole 9, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, it was pretty bad. Drugged through the house, I was cut. I probably still got a little scar on my back from being cut from one of the robbers. I think I've experienced a lot of traumatic things early on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I saw the glories.
Yeah.
Those high peak moments from my mom and my father. And they were always been hustlers. I'm first generation Haitian along with my brothers and sisters. There's 5 of us all together. So it's like, we had to get it from the mud, bro. We didn't have the uncles and those that were aware of how the land worked and, writing checks. I didn't learn how to write a check till I was 30. Yeah, so there was a lot that I felt I was behind on.
Right.
But if it was nothing else, I knew how to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was raised around it. I saw it firsthand.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the drive comes from, bro.
One, have you been doing therapy?
So, and this is the honest opinion, because I love the question. I love that you asked that. Honestly, I haven't. I used to date a therapist, and she taught me a lot about like the self-discoveries and putting labels on boxes and like a lot of the professional terms that they use and how to apply it for yourself. So I took a lot of that and I learned how to build on top of it, you know? And so for me, sitting one-on-one with an actual expert outside of that, I haven't done that. But a lot of what I learned from her,
you apply.
I apply. And it helps me, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, it's also my relationship with God too. So I look at God as a literal father, the father that I didn't have in a literal sense, you know? So my connection with God is pure. Like I am completely transparent with God. I cuss in the moments where I feel like I need to cuss. I cry when I feel like I need to cry. Like it's completely pure and I'm all open with God. You know what I'm saying? So
that is always supposed to be your safe space. You know? And sometimes we treat God like a human, you know, like sometimes we'll treat God like I don't want to disappoint him. Sometimes I'm embarrassed by my decision, and so we kind of avoid him. And shun him. We don't want to talk about it. And so that's good that you are that transparent. Like, look, man.
Nobody's perfect, you know it. Well, we strive for perfection, though. And I believe in giving everything I do or touch an honest effort. So it's like, God, I'm going to get this all that I have, do all that I know to do in this season. And outside of it, it's all in your will. I'm learning from everything. It's wins and learns. Do
you think that you've gotten over the experiences from your childhood?
That's a good question. You know, as human beings, we learn how to cope. Right? And there's a guy that I studied in my time of being with the therapist. His name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And one of the things that I learned that he shared really changed my life. He says that in a time of offense, when offense take place, we call that a refractory period, right? We call that the root cause. Let's narrow it down to the root cause in layman's terms. And in that time of offense, if you don't do anything about it, what tends to happen, it puts you in the mood, right? 6 months down the line, we may cross paths. You may have crossed me 6 months ago during the root cause. I took offense 6 months later. Now we cross paths like, yo, Locke, what's up, King? Peace, you good? Well, you checking with me. I'm like, no, I'm not good. You're like, well, what's up, bro? Nah, you put me in the mood 6 months ago. I'm not over it yet. Right? Now we go from the root cause to now being in the mood. Let's put some more time up behind that. 7, 8 months later, we come back, cross paths. I'm still not good. Now that's called temperament, right? From temperament, we go some more time down the line. Now it becomes a personality trait. So it goes from the root cause where the offense happened. When the offense take place, the mind take a snapshot of it, right? And it stores that data. So keep that in mind. So now I'm in the mood from the root cause. I'm in the mood. It goes from that to temperament, where I've learned how to suppress my issues without ever getting back to the root cause. But then from that, it turns into a personality trait. So what this means is all in essence is since we never got back to the root cause, we turned from the person that we once was. So we may have been a loving person, a trusting person, a person that loves to give. It can be anything. But if you never get back to that root cause, and never address the issue, then we could turn into something else based off of how we've learned how to suppress those issues throughout time, if that makes sense, right? So what I've had to learn was, even though I can't change the past, I can still adjust me, you know, and my mom is still here. My father is no longer living. He passed away a couple years ago, but I'm able to address things with my mom now and talk to her if there's anything that I'm like, yo, like, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why did this happen? Why did that have to happen? You know what I mean? And I've gotten to a place, man, where it's like, because I'm aware of self, I've learned that I know who I like to be. I know what feels good for me, right? With me being a pure person, what does that feel like? So I have to be able to identify the kind of person that I want to become in order to, and work that backward to figure out what I need to adjust to become that person. You see what I mean? So, and I do a lot of like mental, I'm just here all the time.
are you able to see those traits in others, and how do you adjust or handle those people that may not be where you are mentally and emotionally?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yes, absolutely.
You're able to identify it.
Absolutely. I'm able to see it from a distance, you know? Yeah. And I ask myself all the time, like, if this person never changes, am I okay with that? And if I am okay with that, where do I place them in my life? Right? So again, I'm always about like progressing and like growing and like, so I can only take you so far. Right. What I can't do is spend too much time trying to pull you along with me. You don't want to go. So I have to be able to identify that and just be okay with where people are. Now I still give game. I still give the best version of myself to everybody. Yeah. But what I also had to learn was I can't make myself accessible to everybody either, right? Because of the kind of guy that I am, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm extending myself on that level, then I'm no good to me after a while.
I think you probably saw me go through that.
Yeah, moment. I saw some stuff too, yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about time. You live long enough, you figure it out.
That's good, that's good. And I mean, even on top of that, like, I feel like everything is subjected for questioning. Like we need to be questioning everything. Literally, like in a literal sense. Like even what we were taught from our parents, going back to what you just said. Like I have family members that have taken out their anger from a lifelong struggle because of what they were given from the parent, and they never recognized that. So all they're thinking about is, you always said this, you always said that, you did, and these are grown-ups. So it's like, well, when do we accept accountability? When do we accept accountability to be able to make the decision or acknowledge where we are first, and then make the decision to make change? And how does that look? So like, again, people are blinded. Like everybody isn't at the same capacity, like you were saying. And that's what makes it hard, like just life in general.
One thing that they say, wherever you experience your first trauma, it freezes in time. So if you accept that, you know, if you receive that trauma as a child, you're still that child, and you're still trying to, you don't move. You physically grow.
You physically grow.
You learn
mentally,
things.
Right.
But that
you're still
scar
a child.
Is still there. We, black men, never had the tool. We didn't even know where that came from. We didn't know where that anger or why we beat women. We didn't know that seeing our fathers or our, you know, I never saw my father beat, but I can, for those people who are abusive to women or manipulators or whatever your thing is, that you never fix it, it still plagues you as an adult. And these are the conversations that we need to have so we can figure it out from men's perspective, but also the women that love them.
Yes, absolutely.
Take this video and say, baby, you need to watch this.
And that's a man's role to protect, though. Like, there's parts of us that we just can't share with everybody until we know that that trust is there. So like, we grieve in silence, bro. And that's part of a man's, I call it a silent testament. You know, because I'm working on a group, and we'll talk about that later. It's called, that's a slogan, a man's silent testament. You know what I'm saying? We grieve in silence. We process in silence. We'll go through these quiet times to figure things out. Not to say that it's always the best way to do it. But it's just a man's habit. So what is a safe space that we can create for men where like-minded men can come together and we can build with each other together? I met you about, what, 5 years ago? About 5 years ago,
Walk me through that storyline. Like, because I learned, we talked about it later, and it was eye-opening because, like I said earlier, you've always been the same, you know, and I've always been the same. And I think, you know, like-minded, like we can always, it doesn't matter if I see you 2 years later. It's like I just saw you yesterday.
Pick up from where we left off.
You know what I mean? And so, where were you at in that space at that time?
Man, like I was really in, I wouldn't say a broken space, but I was trying to figure things out. I was in between. At that time, I was just getting into trucking. So I went to a partnership with some friends of mine that had a box truck. We went in together. He had the box truck, his wife does dispatching. So I, you know, contributed to it. I said, well, you know what? I'll get out here and run it until we're able to get somebody to replace me, then we can all just kind of kick back, you know? And when I met you, I had just crashed the box truck. I crashed the box truck in New York, and I hit a low bridge, and that was because people that were controlling traffic, they had me go down the wrong lane. I'm like, yo, there's signs saying low bridge ahead. It didn't say the height. It just said low bridge ahead. And because I'm in a box truck, they thought I was fine. And they claimed there were other box trucks that went down that way, but it didn't. So anyway, long story short, I hit a low bridge, shut down the business, and I was in between getting into trucking with what I'm doing now. I'm doing flatbed work now. Okay. And so I was in between, like, going through my trainings and getting my actual CDLs. I'm studying all that for that when we met. So I was like, yo, I don't know if this is going to work for me or not. You know, I just know that for people that's tried everything else, why not trucking? So try trucking. So get into flatbed work. I found a school that paid me for the training, the whole nine, you know. Nice. So I thought it was the best situation for me at the time. But while I was waiting, I didn't have any money coming in. I was still new in photography. I didn't really have real experience with photography at that time. So it was like, what do you do? You know? So, and I was also doing Lyft and Ubering too on the side. So, but when we met, I remember meeting with you at the Triangle Town Center Mall, and we talked, and I was helping with making some sales and stuff like that, approaching people and all of that. I thought it was fire, bro. I was like, man, this is cool. You know, I said, man, Jay Locke, cool, man. Like I vibe with like spirits, right? And that's a common thing. It's normal. And we look for that. And I just felt like it was something that I needed at the time. Even though we got a little distant, we were always connected though. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like I did that. We started working together. We were looking at expanding together and me going to different locations, running some other kiosks and all that. It was good. And then the trucking thing came through, and then I had to pivot. But ever since then, my first 6 months in the trucking, I literally lived over the road because I was hungry. I came in, and when I started getting out there and really seeing the world, I'm like, yo, like there's so much more that we could be working towards, you know? And if it takes making these type of sacrifices to get out here and get used to being uncomfortable in that kind of way, then it's like, there's really, sky's the limit. We can do so many things. And I started seeing stuff. I started seeing land. I started seeing like solar farms everywhere in North Carolina. I'm going all the way out west. I'm going like the Midwest. I'm seeing like culture and like the mountains and what seems like desert land, all kinds of stuff, bro. I'm like, yo, this is
a real world outside.
Yeah, it's a bigger world out here. So my little issues mean nothing compared to what we could be experiencing. And then, of course, they say more money, more problems. You know, that's the thing. But what I'm lacking, though, are these experiences. I don't have a lot of these types of experiences. So I want to create a lifestyle where I can create some great memories along the way while I'm also excelling. And that became my focus. So I started sacrificing. My first 6 months out there, I lived over the road. I'm gone 3 to 6 weeks at a time, minimum. You know what I mean? And I'm out there, bro. I'm everywhere. I'm chopping the roads up. And then after that, man, I became a driver instructor.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I became a driver instructor with the first company I was with, and did that until I left. And then went from a W-2 employee to now 1099 contractor with a different company. You know, so the percentages are different, way different. It is better. So that's been like kind of been a thing that's been keeping me afloat. And even in that, I try to tell people, like, when you make a certain kind of money, it makes you feel real comfortable, you know? But the thing about that is, and so the things that you're supposed to be doing, it's like, I could be, but I'm secured. So we start to drag our feet in other areas and stuff like that. And now I'm like trying to pivot to make sure I get back to the things that I need to be focusing on.
You really get lost in success.
Especially
because success comes with stability, and stability comes with our own desire to be accepted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it feel good when you bring home, I don't eat pork, but the turkey bacon.
Yeah.
It feel good when you bring home the turkey bacon.
Yeah.
So it's like,
not the pork bacon, the turkey bacon.
Not that pork. But the turkey bacon.
I picked up, I got you.
Yeah. Just to be clear.
Yeah, right. But you're right, like it is my first time kind of like consistently making this kind of money. And I'm not saying I'm a millionaire rich, but
feel like
it feels good.
Yeah.
But it's my first time making this kind of money consistently.
Yeah.
You know, and you're right, like we have big hearts, like people like us.
Yeah.
Man, like if we have a spirit of a philanthropist.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I tell people that. I was telling somebody that the other day, like I could see myself being a philanthropist in the future, in the near future.
Yeah.
And because I really love the community, I'm always looking at ways to give back. I'm always, and with just anybody, if I can help, because you want it, absolutely. Come on, let's ride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you don't want it, then it's like, all right, well, you know, you gotta work some things out first.
Yeah.
You know, get your mind right. Then we can work. Yeah.
From the outside looking in, it was like you picked it up and you just ran with it. Like you was everywhere.
I was everywhere,
You was like everywhere. and at the time you was doing that, I think I was kind of in my thing from losing the store and from all of that. So that time that you said that we was away, it was me dealing with my own.
Yeah.
I saw you and super proud.
Super
proud. Like I think every time I saw you, I was like, or every time I talked to you, I was like, yo, I'm proud of you. Like,
thank you. Yeah,
you
did.
Getting to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you did it. You're killing it.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
Yeah.
What is the one thing that you learned from the business of photography that you didn't foresee when you was getting into it?
When I first started photography, I wanted to build an agency. And that was the first initial goal. Before I even got my feet wet, like, I'm like, all right, cool, I have a camera, I have this equipment, and this is like a beginner's kit across the board, right? But my mind was already like, let me build an agency. Let me build a hub spot for other photographers that we can all come together and work together. I want to help y'all get gigs, paid gigs, because in the world of photography, I seen that early. Paid gigs are hard. It's hard to land. You know, if you're not already established to a point, and even those that are established, they're still doing a lot of free work.
Sure.
So they're messing it up for everybody else. And it's just photography, right? So I was like, but I didn't have no sense of the business. I didn't have no sense of like really getting out. I wasn't connected yet in communities and none of that. But that was already my mindset. Ownership, right? That's just part of who I am.
Yeah.
How do we own this? So I said, okay. I picked up a mentor, actually 3 mentors. Shout out to Tony Jones, shout out to Rob Miracle, and shout out to Lemoi. Those 3 have been like my pillars with photography. So anything I need to ask questions about, I can make a phone call in the middle of a session if I have to. And then, oh yeah, just go ahead, do this, do that. Boom, you back on track. I'm like, cool.
Nice.
Business side, I had to learn on my own.
Okay.
And as I was learning it, just a lot of research along the way, figuring out pricings, figuring out how to set up consultation calls, my own little questionnaire, my list of questions and everything. Just everything, man. It was all research out the mud, out the mud,
Okay. That's something I've never had, is a mentor. I never had a mentor. And I don't know if that's just because I'm such a loner.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And I also think that people always think I got it figured out. Like I move.
Yeah. We move the same.
Yeah.
We move the same.
Yeah. I think for me and for you, people like us, being fearless is the key.
Yeah, bro.
But being fearless is not easy to be around and not easy to date, because a lot of times to someone outside of our brain, we look like kamikaze missions. Like we looking like we just it's like, oh, I could do that. Let me jump out this building. How has that been dating?